Beardo Benjo.
Hello there everyone, and happy PlayStation 5 launch day to everyone in the UK. Welcome to this short video where I'm going to just gush about this controller for a little while and show you some gameplay from Astros Playroom. I felt compelled to make a video because I'd read a lot of things online and I'd seen a lot of videos online about just how impressive the Dualsense controller is. But hearing those things, reading those things, hearing people say how good it is, didn't get me excited. Because you have to experience this thing for yourself. So I'm going to do my very best to show you just why this is an amazing controller. I'm going to play through a level of Astros Playroom. I'm going to remove the camera on myself. I'm just going to put the camera on the DualSense controller. I'm going to be quiet for most of the video because I want you to pick up exactly what the controller's doing. The noises, the feedback, the resistance it gives you from the haptic triggers. I hope I can pick it up and kind of give you an impression of just how impressive this controller, and more specifically Astros Playroom, is. This game really does use all the features within this incredible little controller, and I hope more developers take everything this controller can do and use it in games and the future games to come, because this is a great showpiece for exactly what this controller can do. I'm going to shut up now. I'll speak a little bit just to kind of talk about what I'm experiencing, but I'm going to put the camera on the controller and I'm just going to show you what this thing is doing during the video while we run around in Astros Playroom and collect coins. Don't sleep on this game, it's free. If you've got a PS5, it's there for you to play. Check it out, it's very impressive, but let's dive into the game right now. Okay, here we are in Astrobot. Now, for the rest of the video, you're going to be seeing the DualSense controller here, and hopefully you'll be able to hear the noises the thing makes and kind of get a sense of how much resistance it's giving me when it gives me the haptic feedback in the triggers and haptic feedback in the controller itself. It really does feel like this thing is pulling against you or pushing against you at some points, and the resistance and feedback it gives is genuinely mind-blowing. So this is just a little kind of demo at the start of the game which kind of teaches you about the different features in the controller. The first is this kind of jet engine that you can expel from the bottom of the controller. So let's try that now. So if you push the trigger, now it's so hard to get a sense of what that feels like, but when you push the trigger, it's really fighting back against me. You can hear it rumbling. And as you lay off, you can hear. Now if you use both at the same time, you can really hear that and you can really feel it rumbling through the whole controller. And it does feel like you've got those little jet engines bursting out the bottom of the controller. Now the touchpad is a lot more subtle. You kind of get really light feedback as your finger moves across the touchpad. So I'm getting kind of a light rumble just along the back here as I move my finger. So as I track, I get a sense of where I'm drawing. If I draw on this side, then I'm getting sharp vibrations on this side of the pad. If I do it on this side, it's all on that side of the pad. I'm feeling it there, and if you move it across, you can feel it literally moving between one finger to the other. It's very, very impressive. Now the motion sensor is probably one of my favourite features. Obviously it's moving in time with how I'm moving the controller here. But I don't know if you can hear that. You should be able to hear that. That rumble, which is basically all the robots bouncing around inside the controller, is absolutely incredible. It really feels like there's something in here. I can't express the weight of each individual robot that I can feel inside there, but you can feel them all. If you tilt it from right to left, you can really feel them. And you can feel them moving around as well, so they fall from the bottom right to the top. It's absolutely incredible stuff. Finally, there's a microphone as well. You blow into that and you get kind of a really light vibration that does feel like kind of wind rippling across something. it's very difficult to explain how this controller feels. Now, believe it or not, all those little clicks that you can hear as it's moving around, I can feel all of those in the controller. Every little click, no matter how fast I do it, no matter how slow I do it, I can feel them all thanks to the haptic feedback. There we go. He's free. Now, for a starting point, if you've just bought a PlayStation 5 or you're going to get a PlayStation 5, Astro is probably the best game to jump into immediately. It's so wholesome. It's kind of like a love letter to the history of PlayStation. And you basically go through loads of platform-based levels, collecting old artifacts from the PS2 era, PS1 era, PS3, PS4, and ultimately you reach PS5. It's got a lot of charm, but the way it shows off the controller is what's really impressing me. Now, when I'm running on this floor, I can hear each little footstep in the controller. And I can feel them as well. I can feel them vibrating from left to right with each foot. Hopefully you can hear that. I can feel like little delicate feet running across. It's more impressive when you run on something metal because it changes and the feedback you get changes. Now that feedback is a little bit more defined, a little bit more tinny. It feels like you're running on a metal surface. As opposed to that, which the vibration dies off just a little bit, and then it picks back up again. It's very, very impressive. Let's go into a level. Same again there on the glass. Okay, this level's probably the best to showcase all the different ways this controller makes you feel like you're in the game, because the water is something I was trying to explain to a friend earlier. It feels like you can feel the water in your hands. Sliding down there, the kind of it's the vibration is kind of all over, and it's kind of, you can feel the friction of the slide. And obviously you'll notice as well there's a lot of noises coming out of the controller itself. And they really team up with the vibrations, the haptic feedback, and kind of just give you an incredible sense of everything you're running through, everything you're running on, all the different surfaces. It's absolutely incredible, and it is something that's very difficult to explain. You kind of have to hold one in your own hands and feel it doing this stuff. Because even that sand sounds stupid, but it feels like running through sand. And then as you jump into the water, the feedback changes, the sounds change. I wasn't expecting to be as impressed as I am by this free packaged in game. The quality of the speaker as well in the controller is lovely. There's something really nice about just moving from different surfaces, from sand to wood, and just feeling the way that the controller gives you feedback completely changes. And when you grab these as well, you really get a sense of feedback. You feel that as you're pulling against it, you can feel it pulling back on you. So this really gives you resistance. Let's get that close to there. I'm feeling that like right through my hand, that resistance. And there's some of these that you can pull back which are far more difficult, and you have to pull them back a longer way, and you can really feel it. Sound of the sand there.
These ones are a little bit tougher, so you can really feel it in these. It's so difficult to describe that feeling of that noise, but you can feel each little click within your hands. And then as it gets pulled even tighter, you can feel it getting tense. It really helps that this game is gorgeous to look at as well. Oh, as I say, it's very difficult to explain exactly what this feels like, and you can't really even show it. I know some people have shown the haptic feedback in the triggers by kind of showing it vibrating when you're firing guns and things, and there's a little bit of that in this, but it's more to do with the noises this controller's making and kind of talking you through what it feels like. Now here you have to zip up the back of the outfit, and you do that by pushing up the touchpad. And you can feel that again, it feels like a zip. You feel every kind of notch of the zip as it moves forward. Now this thing here, again, you can feel all the springs kind of bending, and the slower you do it, it's just mad. And you pull in the triggers and let go to shoot them off. It's a seriously impressive controller, and my only, day one worry is that developers won't use it to its full potential. There's a lot of great tech in this thing, and it feels like Astrobot has utilised it amazingly, but will every other developer when they make games going forward. You can really feel that in the triggers. Oh, I've died. You can really feel that in the triggers then. Hold on, let me get straight so I don't kill myself. Really fights you. There's some real kind of resistance on the triggers. It's absolutely lovely. Now most of the sound effects are coming from the controller. From the game itself, I'm just getting the music. You can feel that glass as you break through it. Oh, I've gone into a box. What does that mean? Oh, yeah! I can't remember what that gun was called. The sharpshooter, there we go. PlayStation sharpshooter. And you find these artifacts from PlayStation games and bygone eras, and you collect them in a little room. It's very nostalgic. It's a great packaged-in game. Next to kind of Wii Sports, it's probably one of the best packaged-in games I've played. Really well made. A lot of content. It's not a quick flash in the pan by any stretch of the imagination. Down the slide again, you can feel all the vibration in the back of your hands there. Now I really wanted to get to this next part because this bit is, again, difficult to explain, but very impressive. Now in parts of the video I might mute the music so you're just hearing what's coming out of the controller, because the controller really has got a great little speaker in it. Okay, now in here, again, the feeling of running on snow feels different to sand, it feels different to wood, it feels different to metal. It feels chunkier, it feels slower. But it's when you get on the ice, that's when it's really impressive. You can feel the ice skates cutting through, and as you move from left foot to right foot, you can feel it changing from the left of the controller to the right of the controller. It is crazy. You feel that little spin as well. The one part of the controller that got my attention, one part of the machine, sorry, that got my attention first was the controller, because it was such a radical overhaul from what they've done previously. And it's the bit that, after, you know, having the console now for one day, has impressed me the most. The games look stunning. You know, the ray tracing in things like Miles Morales is amazing. It loads incredibly quickly. It's a great machine, but this controller is the most impressive thing for me so far. Just awesome. Oh, he's going to kill me. I guess the kind of easiest way to... Oh, I've got to blow this now. There we go. I guess the easiest way to describe the way that this feels to play with this controller is whenever you hear a noise, when the controller makes a noise, and you can hear that, so I'm picking up the coins. When it makes a noise, I can feel something. I can feel a bit of feedback in the controller that relates to that particular noise or that particular action. And it all feels incredibly accurate to the action that I'm undertaking. Feel this. Oh, that was stupid. It's so triumphant, this controller, and this little game really shows off everything that it does. It's absolutely fantastic. If you've got yourself a PS5 or you're planning to get a PS5, I'm sure you'll be excited to play things like, you know, Demon's Souls, Miles Morales, Sackboy, whatever it is that you want to jump into. But this comes free on your machine, and I urge you to boot it up and give it a go. It's a fantastic... Oh, look, got a little rubber ring on. It's a fantastic way to get used to this controller, and for PlayStation to show you exactly what this controller can do. It can do an awful lot. And as I've said a few times, I really hope that developers take heed of all the tech that's in this thing and just put it to good use. It's very quickly become my favourite controller. For years I've used the Xbox One controller, and it's been the most comfortable and accessible controller that I've used. But this combines that comfort with the, I guess it's the 3D rumble and haptic feedback that you get in something like the Switch, the Joy-Cons, and it just takes it to a whole new level. And just, it combines a lot of elements from existing controllers and makes something pretty perfect. It's comfortable, it's filled with incredible tech, and the feedback that you get from the haptics and the vibration and the sound and the touchpad is just such a joy. And yeah, I honestly recommend, if you're getting a PS5, jump into Astros Playroom. I believe it's Astros Playroom. I don't know what the game's called. I just booted it up because it looked amazing. Jump into Astrobot and check it out. It's just such a joyous experience, and it is a love letter to PlayStation, and it will showcase exactly how impressive this controller is, and it is very, very impressive. My new favourite controller. I'm in love with it. I can't wait to see what people do with this controller. Check it out, look. Remember when PS3s had this little flap on the front? Amazing. These ones could read PS2 games as well. 60 gig. Fantastic. I hope you enjoyed, guys. Just a short video to kind of explain my love of this new controller. I absolutely adore it. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you soon for another one. Take care. See you later.